Recording in progress.
Okay. Can you hear me, online students?
Yes, we can.
All right, so today I'm gonna show you how methods could be used in test automation. Let me share my screen. Window 2. Okay, so this is plan for today, guys. First, questions and answers. Second, review the previous tasks from yesterday. Then 2, practice tasks. Then we move to website, CodingBot, to practice tasks. This CodingBot website, it's mainly for practicing methods. There we're going to learn how to write pseudocode, show them, I'll show you how to come up with a solution. Like, how should you think while solving a problem or coding? This is planned for today. All right, so let me move it here. Okay. Okay, what are the types of methods in Java? Tim, what are the types of methods in Java?
Return type and void type.
Okay, there are 2 types of methods in Java. Clara J, what's the difference between these 2 types of methods?
Void methods. Doesn't return the string value.
The string value
Doesn't return
doesn't return what?
string value.
So you think a value, just a value, right?
all
What?
all elements. Another word, all elements in the curly space, so square brackets.
In the square brackets, there is a body. Okay, let me ask other student. Jolchubek Peke, what's the difference between the void type method and the returning type method?
As I know, the void method are they're using more by developers. This method-
Which methods?
Void, I mean, just
Void.
void method.
Void methods are used.
Using by developers.
Okay.
Like programmers, and the return method is using by as a users.
Okay, but it's vice versa actually. Voids are used by testers.
Used by testers.
Returns, they're created by developers.
Yes.
And what's the difference between them?
The return method is it's a method when the values of it executes the task
Mhm.
by returning, like going back to main method, and then it's like connecting
Yeah, it
Yeah,
sends
it's-
back the values
values.
back to the place where are they called, right?
Yeah.
How about void?
Void method is mostly using for string
Or string?
or for primitive.
Voids are used when? So voids are used just to perform something and that's it.
Mhm.
One good example of void method is which method? Arrays.sort method, yeah. It just changes the array and that's it. It's not returning you something like, hey, we have successfully sorted the array. It doesn't return something. And can you tell me about the method signature? The anatomy of methods, the skeleton. How do you create these methods?
Probably.
Yeah, go ahead.
Public static void.
Public static,
Name of the method.
public static void. Should it always be void?
Now we can change it depends on the.
So it's public static and then return type.
Return type, it can be, yeah, return types and name of the method.
Name of the method, okay, and then
And inside parents, we can put parameters.
parameters list, yeah, it's
We should
parameters
use
list.
the batch.
Let's say this, we have a return type method, public static string,
String name of the method.
yeah, and then there is one important thing to include in this method, in a return type method.
Parameters,
No,
return.
it is return statement. Is it true that we don't need a return statement in a returning type methods? We don't need them, right? No, we need them. Yeah. Okay. Question, online students, you can answer these questions. If you know the answers. Okay, next question is, why do we need methods in Java?
Can I answer?
Yes,
We use methods in order to save time and then to use them multiple times and just keep clean the main method, right? I
yeah,
mean,
exactly.
not overwrite.
Yeah, it saves time, reusability, and keep the main method readable and clean. And very important thing, there could be a big project, which consists of, let's say, 2,000 of lines. It's better to break it down into smaller parts, like one method that has 20 lines, the other method that has maybe 50 lines, the other method has 30 lines. It's better to break it down into smaller parts, For example, if I ask you this question, tell me about your day. What did you do this today? It would be really difficult to start it from the morning till this moment, but you can divide it into parts, like morning part, maybe breakfast part, dinner, maybe lunch part, like your work part, and the moments before you come here. You can break down this day into smaller parts of your day. But if you will answer from the morning routine till this, without breaking it down into smaller parts like topics, then it would be difficult to understand. It would seem like you had something not structured. Okay. Can you give an example from real life where methods would be really helpful?
As you said yesterday, like a WhatsApp web application. Like each function, it will be we can write each function in a. I'm sorry.
For example, when you start an audio call, it can be a method called start an audio call. Like it may be, I'm not sure how the WhatsApp developers created, but there could be something like this: public void, and then start audio call, and then maybe then the name or phone number who you are calling to. And then the audio call will start. It may be this, guys, public void. Let's say probably there is a button in our group, WhatsApp group, like an audio call in our group as well. There could be a method start audio call to multiple people, to a group of people. Then there will be a call with 5, maybe 6, 7 people. And then there might be this method, public void text. Here we got the text and a phone number. When you type something in the text box and you click that button send, it probably sends text to that phone number. This is how it might be implemented. Or when you press deposit button in ATM, in the ATMs, it could be public void deposit. Then it could be amount to deposit. Then it could be account number. You don't need to type the account number. Already, when you already inserted your debit card, your account number will already be there automatically. So all these actions, they could be implemented by this method. Start audio call, text. There could be a method like public void change photo, let's say in WhatsApp. Then, of course, there is no a data type to store methods, to store pictures. There is no data type to store pictures. Probably they are stored in some types, like maybe it will be a link to your image. First, when you choose an image, and then when you click in the WhatsApp, let's say update, to update your picture will be uploaded to some server. And then from that server, you get a link of your picture, and then that link will be set to your profile. Then probably this is how we see your pictures. Can you give me a few more examples of how methods would be helpful in real life? Maybe there is something like ATM, and then we break down all of the functions of this ATM by making deposit method, withdraw method, maybe change the passcode for the debit card. A vending machine. It can be a project called vending machine, and all these machines, they have operating system. All of them have operating system. There could be a Java program running on the vending machine. And what you can buy from vending machines? Drinks, snacks, yeah. Maybe there is a method like public void buy. When you insert their card, maybe, or when you click start button, there could be a method called public void buy, and then int. It might be something like option. If you press 1, then it will call a method, and for this option will be given a value 1, and then it does something here. Some code is executed, and then it will give you that drink or maybe a snack. There could be this method. If the option is 2, it might give you a snack. If the option is 3, it might give you some other drink. Any example? My example is vending machine. For example, it's more than just a Java project, but when you come, they scan the barcode, right, from the product, and then when it's scanned, probably there is some method like search, and then the barcode is stored maybe in bytes, in array of bytes, barcode. And then it will look for this barcode from some list, from collection. Do you know a data type that can store multiple things? For example, an array. There could be in the system an array of barcodes. And when this method is called while scanning your product, it reads the byte code, it's the input data. And then we have in the database or somewhere else an array with a lot of barcodes. And if it finds that barcode from the array, it takes it and gives information about that barcode. Price, product name. Yeah, good example. Or when you are checking in, for example, for your flight, they take your first name, last name, and probably your passport numbers, and they look for your information from database. And then if they find it, they check you in. Then it means you're checked in. You're gonna fly.
Also, can I give one example?
Mhm.
Like application like Step, when it counts your steps and it automatically calculate how many calories you have like lost. Can it be like that?
Colors?
Calories. I mean, when you make the steps or when you run certain amount of kilometers, you will lose this kind of calories.
Okay, it might be also somehow implemented. Yeah, it could be something, maybe start running. And then there are another devices that track your physical
Hardware.
movements.
Yeah.
Yeah, some hardware. And then that hardware sends to your program some information, and then this method takes those informations and maybe gives some report, or maybe like
Yeah.
processes data. It could be start running or start swimming method. Okay. Okay, what are the keywords we learned with these methods in Java? Keywords that we learned. Main. Okay, we knew it before. That we learned yesterday. Yeah. Void we learned, right? The return keyword, return statement. Did you know before? What?
Static.
Yeah, we don't know static yet fully, but there is a static keyword. How about parameters list? Did you know this? There is a parameters, but you knew it, right? Okay, parameters list. There is a parameters list. These are the keywords that we learned yesterday. I have from yesterday something that we haven't completed, guys. Did we do this one, guys? Practice task 6 yesterday. Yeah,
Yes.
we did it. And then I showed you my version, right? That's a little bit shorter. Okay, I have here 2 more tasks we need to complete, guys. Let's do this. Create a package called day 38 and task 1. Create a package day 38, task 1 with a main method. And here in this main method, do this. Create an array with these numbers 1, 28, 54, 67, 5, 34. Create this array. So when I'm going to open this slide, there will be a task to create a method that processes this array and gives us back some data. All right. Have you done creating this array? Okay. Next. So task number 7. Average of elements. Create a method called average that accepts in parameters list an array of double values. Let's do this. Okay, it's fine. We can make it an array of int values. This method should find the average and display it. Let's say an array of integers passed to the parameters list is 1, 2, 6, 9, 5. Then the average of elements is 4.6. It should be 4.6. Let's do this. Can you guys change the type of the array to double so that at the end, after the calculation, the result is double value? All right. This method, guys, does this method return a value? Yeah? Does this method return a value? No. There is no word return here. This one for the
It
last
just
one. Okay.
performs the task.
So it should be a void type method. Void type method. How about the parameters list? How many parameters are there in the parameters list? Only one, right? Only one parameter. All right, here you go, guys. Let me set the timer. If you have questions, guys, ask right now. It's always good to clarify things.
I'm a bit confused. Like it's also related to home assignment. So whenever we use these arrays, we need to specify in the main method first, right?
For now,
Like-
yeah. For now, yes.
We cannot write in the parameters, right? Parameter list.
Yeah, if it says it accepts an array of double values, then when you call it, you should send from there or pass from there an array. So it means before calling it, you should have an array. This is what we did. Right now, here we have an array, and here we are gonna call this method, average. And then we'll pass this array here.
Okay.
Yeah, before calling that method, we should have a ready array of double values. All right, we created an array in the main method. Do we need to create it one more time inside the method?
You mean
No.
in the void method?
Yeah, inside the method. We have
Uh,
already this array. Do we need
we
to
s-
create one more time an array inside the method?
We just need to declare.
We just need to have a parameter
Part-
inside the parameters list. We don't need to create it again inside the method that you are creating, which is public void average.
So we need to use the full, right?
I think yes. Yeah, because we need to
Oh,
yeah. We need to go through each element of the array. Cool, let's go, guys. You have 1 minute and 20 seconds. Okay. Where is my Sublime? Here. All right, guys. Let's say we have these numbers. What's the average of these numbers?
Three 3.5.
21 divided probably by
6.
6.
3.5.
Okay. We have this data, guys. We have this data in the main method. Next, we need to create a method that will process this data. We need a method that will process this data. And then this method will display the average. So we have already this. We need to create a method. We pass these elements to the method, and then inside the method, we process this data. We write some code that will, at the end, display the average, which is 3.5. All right. it- Did we complete the method signature for this method? What do we miss?
No, we didn't.
Parameter list.
All right, Wambakio, how did you create your parameters list? What did you write there? You write this, right? Yeah, but there should be
Square.
square bracket. There should be a square bracket. Next, is it true that this array will be passed to this method? We are gonna send this numbers to this array to make some process on them. All right, next thing. Is it true that this array name should be the same as the parameter name?
Yes.
Claraja, what do you think? Is it true that this name, let me make it, is it true?
Double maybe instead of one.
No, Ziyada Jerry. It's a void type method. When it's called, we pass this array. Is it true that this name should be the same as this name? Like, we can change it. We can make it numbers. And here we can make it numbers. It's not necessary to have exactly same names for this parameter name and for this. This one is called argument. Arguments are passed to the parameters list. This is parameter, this is argument. But they should have similarity. So it's an array and it's passed to this place, to parameters list. It shouldn't be names here because it's not an array of names. It's an array of numbers. And here we accept an array. I'll make it arrays again. All right. How about this? If we display here this array, what elements will it display?
It will not display anything, right? Here.
We have a method. We have a method we created. We have an array of double elements. We created a method that returns a value, right? No, we created a method that doesn't return a value, which is void type. And it accepts an array of elements. It would be not effective if it always accepts only by one value. Then there are times when you need to process a lot of data. A lot of data should be processed. That time we need arrays. Next, argument arrays is passed here. If I run this program, too easy, guys. What will be in the output?
The list of arrays.
Nothing. Please do not disappoint me. If
No,
we run this,
not the list of the arrays, 128, 54.
yeah, very easy. It will just show us the elements. We haven't done here something special. We're just displaying those elements. Do we need to just display those elements, Claraja, for this task? What do we need to do in this task? Do we need to just take elements and show them?
No, we need to find average of the array.
Yeah. In terms of ATM, does it just take your card and then gives you back? No, it processes something. Yeah, it does something on your debit card or yeah. So now we have an array. What are the elements inside this array? These are 128, 54, 67, 534. This one is the copy of this. We can make it numbers here, numbers here. When you pass this array, it will paste all elements to this array. So this array has all elements from this one. So can I say that this array, this one, is a copy of numbers array? Can we say it? Yeah. Next, we need to process this data. What do we need to do? What does this process mean? How should we process this data? Do we need to just display them?
We can firstly sum them, find the
We should find the sum. Finding the sum requires accessing each element.
Yeah,
Each
for
element
loop
should be accessed.
is useful.
If we do it, if we need to do it, how you do it?
So first, we need to create this variable that will store some.
Yeah,
Some of,
variable to store the sum should be created. Next,
then we
we
need
need
to
For
access
loop.
access
element.
each element. All right. Claraja, should we use here a loop or we can go without a loop? Okay, why do we need to use a loop here? Can we get it done without using a loop?
No,
Why do we need to use here a loop, Claraja? Okay, can you repeat your answer then? Why? What? No. Okay.
Inside the numbers, double numbers, we need to take each element and sum it. So that we need to.
Okay. Can we go without a for loop? The answer is no, because who knows? Maybe there will be 50 elements. Maybe there will be 70 elements. We don't know. If we knew exactly the number of elements, we could go without a loop. But there could be different number of elements. That's why for loop is used. Because here you can say to this for loop to make array lengths of iterations. Array lengths of iterations. Okay, what's next?
sum plus
need to add each element every
I.
time.
Sum plus equal I, right? It should be array I, because we are gonna find the average of these numbers, not the average of numbers from 1 to 10.
Create one counter.
Counter should be created. Do we need a counter?
No.
No.
We can use the array lengths, right? Okay. Next, there should be a message that displays the average. Where should we put this message? Inside the loop, yeah? Why outside the loop? Because that message is displayed only once.
Then
The
outside
f is equal to,
sum divided by array lengths.
yeah, sum divided by array length. All right. Next, when you run this, it displays that the average is 31. If we make here only 2 elements, then it should be 14. All right. Why is it 14, not 14.5? But our double is
Yes,
Is-
Sum.
sum should be double. Yeah, let's run it. Now the average is 14.5. Because now we are adding all numbers to double container. And this container can produce a double value. Int container cannot produce a double value. All right. This is how we find the average of all elements. What if I ask you to just display each element of this array in a separate line? Can we just reuse this method with modifying few lines? What if I ask you to display each element in a separate line? And that's it. Do you need to change here? Can we reuse this method?
What do you mean separate?
Yeah, so that it displays us 1, then 28, then 3, then 4. Yeah, this is for finding average, but we can modify it, yeah? If we need, we can modify it. We can remove. Yeah, we don't need the sum. We need just array I. Display each element. Okay. I'll undo it all. All right, this is task number 1, to find the average of all elements. Okay. All right, let's create another class for task 2. Again, we're gonna process an array. In this one, we're gonna work on an array of strings. Create an array of strings, and this will be names. And inside this array, we'll be storing an array of strings. So name is here. I'm gonna list names, our student names. All right, you can create this array with 5 elements. All right. Which element, guys, is the longest element? Which element has the
Fourth element.
1? Right. So create this array with this names.
But the Timirwan and Jochebek have the same lengths, right?
I don't know. No. Tamerlan has 8. Yeah. Okay. Next. So task, the next one, it's to find the longest string. So create a method called longest string that returns a string object. This method should accept an array of strings in the parameters list. It should return the longest string object in the array. Call this method in the main to display the longest string. Let's say the array of strings passed to the method is hello laptop bottles. It displays us bottles is the longest string. All right, what's the return type for this method? Return type is string. String is the return type. Okay, how many parameters are accepted? So how many? 2. What are they? Only 1 parameter, which is an array. Huh? No, 1. Only 1 parameter is accepted, and it's an array of strings. This method should accept an array of strings. This is the parameter in the parameters list. You can give any name to your parameter. It could be names. We created already the names array in the main method, and we'll be passing it like we did in task 7. Ask here your questions if you stuck somewhere while reading it, or if something should be clarified. So for you, the very first step to start it successfully is first create the right method signature. Public, static, is it void, boolean, string, public, static, string. Next, the name. What's the name of the method? Longest string. And then in the parameters list, we accept array of strings, which is string, square brackets, array name. And here you go. Next step is to create the logic code. I think, yeah. Have we done before this kind of thing, guys? Did I ever give you a task where you needed to find the biggest number in the array without using a sort method?
Yeah, we done it in the past.
Yeah, we have done it on last Friday. You were given an array, no, not Friday, Thursday then. It was with me. So you were given an array with numbers, and you needed to find the biggest number, greatest number, without using array sort. So here, pretty same thing. It can easily be done with using arrays.sort. Then it will put the longest string at the end. Then you can just take access the last element. But you shouldn't use here arrays.sort. All right, let me make a lab here. Are you copying, Tim?
No. What did you make it big?
We have done it before. You just could use the same technique that we have done before. Just you could open that class, look at that code, copy it, and then modify it. All right. So let me open day 35. Maybe this one. Not this one. Task 5. All right. Do you remember? Not do you remember? What does this code do, guys?
It takes
this-
first element.
Okay. We are assuming that the element that the first element is the maximum number in the beginning.
Okay. Yeah.
And then compare each element to this number. And if it's not, then the
We
maximum.
assume that, yeah, exactly. We assume that 1 is the greatest number because we didn't check these numbers yet. Then we compare this 1 with 45 here. If 1 is less than 45, then now new
45.
greatest number becomes 45. Next, now the greatest number is 45. We compare 45 and 69. 45 and numbers 2. Now it turns out 69 is bigger than 45. So then we assign to max new number, which is 69. The same could be applied here for task 2. All right, let's create a method signature for this method, Clara Jen. All right. Public static Boolean, next. Longest string, okay. Right here, do you mean? Okay. String, square brackets, names. Yeah. Maybe we need to make it void type, isn't it? Why did you make it returning type Boolean? What should we find in this task? Who knows? What do we need to find in this task? String object.
Yeah, we
The
need
one which is, yeah.
we need to define which name is the longest one.
Yeah, we need to
Count.
yeah, we need to find out which one is the longest. So we are looking for a string. This method should return something, and it's a longest string. That's why we make the return type string. We need to, let me copy it. We have this array. Okay. Java doesn't have eyes, and Java cannot just look at these numbers and like identify that probably Tamerlan or this name, one of them is longest. It cannot identify it only by looking at them. We should check each of these elements, access them. If we need to check each of these elements, Farija, what should be used? Which control flow statement? For loop, right? For loop should be used. Okay. Then every time we check element, we are looking for some element. For which element are we looking for? Longest string, right? So it means we need to store it somewhere, right? We need to store it somewhere, isn't it? We are looking for the longest string. While you are checking, we are human, we are people, and while we read this element, we can store it in the other place, the longest string. Right now, I assume this name is the longest string. Now, when I read this one, I see that it's shorter than this one. Then when I come to this one, I assume this one is the longest because this one is longer than this name. So is it true that we need to store it somewhere every time? We need to store the longest string. We need to remember the longest string. If we need to remember that or store it, should we create a container? In terms of Java, we need to create a container. It's like a memory cell. Scanner? No. Yeah, there should be a string like longest. And we can make it this. We can make it this because we don't know yet which string is the longest. That's why we can make it this way. So let's get back here. Now we have this. Next, we need to iterate over an array, traverse it. And it runs names, lengths, times. Okay. Next step. When I read these names, I'm comparing them. I'm comparing them. I can do this comparison without telling you because we can think it. We can do it in our mind. But when it comes to Java, we need to write code for it to make this comparison. How do we compare them? Using if statements. If names i's length, if, for example, this name's length is greater than this one's longest length, then we find out a new longest string. So if we find out that an element is longer than our longest, then we assign to the longest
Names I.
names I. Yeah, this is it. And then at the end, we return longest. If I do this, guys, if I do this modification to this code, this, how many times will this if be true?
True.
Yeah.
0.
How many times will this condition be true, Claraja? 1, when? What's the length of this? It's, let's say, 15. The length is 15. Names I. At first, it's 0, right? Names 0, length. This name. What's the length for this name? 7. 7 is greater than 15. Is it true? No. So the condition is false. Next step, we check this name. Names 1 dot length. 5 is greater than 15. Is it true? False. So how many times will this condition be true? How many times? Yeah, how many times will this condition be true? 0 times, because none of these names have lengths greater than this one. Yeah, this is because I changed it. Now it's perfect. We can call this longest string and pass here names. If I run this code, guys, what will happen in the console? The longest? Nothing. All right. What type of method is it, guys? This one. Yeah, string type method. It's string type method. We can do something like this, string result, or we can immediately put it inside the system out print line. We can put it inside the S out because yeah, we need to print it. And also it's a returning type method, right? That's why we can place it here. All right, this is the longest string here. All right, we can put here other name. Let's try this, guys. Give me a name where we have 9 letters.
Caner,
Yeah.
get your name.
Let me check if there are 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. If we run this code, what will be displayed? Which name? This one or this one? How both? We are returning only one value.
The last one will be
Also, wait.
You- No, man, it's not. Yeah.
No, it's stop. Right?
No, it doesn't stop checking. No, it will keep checking, but let's compare their lengths. 9 and 9. Is 9 greater than 9? False, right? That's why it's not gonna update the longest because it's not greater. But if we make it something like this, then it will update it to the last name, even if it's 9 and 9.
Why the last?
It's updating.
Yeah.
Can you repeat your question?
Yeah, the last name will display.
Yeah.
Why the no string in another?
We reassign
Yeah, because we constructed the code this way. The condition is this. If some name has the same length as the other name, then update the longest. If I remove it, now even if the 2 strings have the same length, which is 9 and 9, we are not gonna update because they have the same length. It's not true that this name is longer than this name. That's why it's not displaying my name. But if we make it this, then it will update it, even if the length is the same.
Update the last option, right?
No, it could update each time. But as long as we have if condition that should be met, then it updates only when the length of the element is greater than the length of the longest. Now, if I run this code, what will be displayed, Ulan Baykan? Yeah. Because when you compare the longest, when we are checking this element, longest is,
Not greater than-
yeah, longest is this name, right? And then when you compare both of them, the lengths are the same. So the condition is false.
Or we could specify, right, in condition like the first longest name, something like that.
Yeah, we could do something like first longest. It's possible. Or if we need to do something like last longest, then we could do this. Like we could come up with anything, but it should be logical. Okay. So next, do you all guys have email accounts? You all have, right? Email accounts. Okay. Let's do this, guys. Open this website. Okay, let me do this. Okay. Open this website. Open this website, guys. All right, have you opened this website? All right. So let me open it with you. Next step, guys, is we need to create an account here. Do you have an account already? Very good. Do you all have account already there? Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. So it's a website with Java problems that you are able to solve now, because now we know what are the methods and how to come up with solution using methods. Okay. Let's do this, guys. I'm gonna open warm-up 1. For today, we will practice this sections. Warm-up 1, warm-up 2, string 1, string 2, array 1, and array 2. We'll be doing them. Let me write here this solved, and then we will begin with warm-up 1. Warm-up 1. So if you look at here, warm-up 1 is a simple warm-up problems to get started. It's a simple warm-up problems. Let me open here one warm-up. And as you can see, here we have collection of problems. And there are names. So here we have 3 columns of Java problems. All right, let me open one of them and we're gonna solve it together. We need to find out each step, how to come up with a solution. Let me remove this. All right, look guys, the problem's name is slip in. Let me do this, that we solved it. Okay, it's very important guys, even if you know it, how to solve, let's learn together how to come up with a solution. Here guys, here is the instructions. Here are the instructions. Here are the test cases. Test case 1, test case 2, and test case 3. For example, if I run this code, what should be ideally displayed if I run this code? And which one is the longest element? So if I make our instructions similar to this one, or test cases, then this one is our test input. And then the test result should be this name. Then another test case. If we have only these names, then the result should be this name. So these are the test cases. If you have this input, then the output should be this. So here, if the inputs are false and false, here we have a method. All of these methods, all of these Java problems have a returning type method. Public boolean. Here, public int. All of them. None of them are void methods. None of them. All of them are returning type methods. Okay. Next. All of them are returning type methods. Next, how many parameters do you see here, guys, for this method? There are 2 parameters. First one is Boolean weekday. Second one is Boolean vacation. I think we have, maybe I have done this one with you. Maybe. There was something like this. If it is weekday and vacation, do you remember? Probably we have done it when we learned the if else statements. If it is true and this is true, when we combine these logical operators, the parameter weekday is true if it is a weekday. What does it mean, guys? Let's read it first. The parameter weekday is true if it's a weekday. Here we have 2 parameters, weekday and vacation. Weekday and vacation. Weekday is true if it is a weekday. What does it mean? It means if weekday is true, then it is. If weekday is true, it is.
True.
It's a weekday, which means it's probably Monday, Tuesday, or maybe Friday. Let's take a look at the first test case. False. First parameter is false, which means it's not a weekday. It could be Saturday or Sunday. Next. And the parameter vacation is true if we are on vacation. What does it mean? It means if the vacation is true, means right now is a vacation time. We can sleep till 5 p.m. because it's vacation. Let's take a look at the first test case. False and false. What does it mean, guys?
It's not a weekday.
Not weekday
It's not a
and
week.
not okay, which day it could be? Which day it could be?
Sunday,
Weekend.
maybe.
If it's not weekday, then probably it's Saturday or Sunday. Saturday
Weekend.
or all right. How about vacation? Is it a vacation time?
No.
Which means it's not a vacation time. So it's Saturday. It's not a vacation time. It's not Christmas holidays. But if I have no job for today, I don't need to go to work. Can I sleep till noon?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. False means it is Saturday. Here false means it's not a vacation. If it's Saturday, we can sleep till noon. Next thing, true and false. What does this mean? True for weekday.
It's a weekday, but it's not
It's
a
a weekday.
vacation.
It's not a vacation. So it's a weekday. Maybe it's Wednesday when you need to go and work. So if it's weekday, can you sleep?
No.
No. Then false and true. It means it's Tuesday, but it's vacation, which means we don't need to go to work, right? It means we can sleep. So it says We sleep in if it's not a weekday. So if it's Saturday, we can sleep. We sleep in if it's not a weekday. It means if it is weekend, we can sleep. Or if it is vacation, can we sleep in? Yes. So return true if we sleep in. If you can sleep as much as you want. So is it a returning type method? Yes, this is a returning type method. What if I do this? If we run this, all right, one more thing to explain, guys. When I click go, there is main method that you don't see, that we cannot see here, but it's there. Behind the website, there is a main method. For example, for this method, if you call this method, how many parameters should be passed? 2 parameters. We need to pass there 2 booleans. But do we need to pass them if you don't have here main method? The answer is, do we need to create here a main method? No. Main method is created behind the scene. It's already there, a main method. It means we don't need to call this method because it's already called. Let's say we called this method. If I call this method 1,000 times, what will be the returned value for this method? False. It will always return a false value. Always. Let me run this. Look, there are how many test cases? There are 4 test cases. Expected. It says when you run this code and when you have these 2 inputs, false and false. What does false and false mean, Clarigen? Huh? Yeah, it means true, but in other words, what does false and false mean? It's not weekday, right? Perfect. It's not weekday, it's not vacation. Can we sleep in? So it's a weekend, right? If it's not weekday. It's Saturday. It's not vacation. On Saturday, can you sleep in? That's why it returns true. Let's take a look at this one. True and true. What does it mean, true and true? It's weekday and vacation. Probably it's, let's say, Monday and it's vacation. Can you sleep in on that day? Yeah. And it should return true. Here is the expected values. But when we run our solution, what does it return after we run it?
Always false.
It returns always false. Do you know why? We made it to return false always, right? If I do here this, then it always returns true. It seems like we almost solved it, right? We almost, but no. One test case is wrong. We need to create here a code, guys, to do it. All right. What should we use here? If else conditional statements. All right. It depends from us, guys. Another thing, we have never done this before. How many return statements should be created inside the method?
1. Inside the method. Unlimitedly.
How many?
Ah.
How many if else statements can we create inside this method? As many as we want. Next thing, how many return statements we can create inside this method? How many we can? Yeah. Not how many we should, how many we can. 2. I can create here 50 return statements if I will construct it properly. So how many outcomes are here from this task? 2 outcomes. We can sleep in or we cannot sleep in, right? Which is true or false. What does false mean? If the returned value is false, we cannot sleep. If it's true, we can sleep in. So there should be if and else only, or 3 conditional statements. How many there should be? 3? How many there should be? 2. There should be 2. It's if and else. All right. It depends from us. We can make this if to determine or to return. We can make it this way. If this is true, then we can sleep. If it's not true, then we can't sleep. Or we can make it other way. We can make it this way. If this is true, we can sleep, and else we can sleep. It depends from us. It depends how I constructed these conditions. All right. When we can sleep, guys?
When it's a weekday.
When we can sleep. Can.
Can or can't?
Can.
When it's weekends and we're on vacation.
Yeah. So definitely when it is this way, right? When vacation is true. We can sleep when vacation is true. Should it be and or logical operator? Or because we can sleep when it's vacation. Or yeah, we can sleep when
But it's not
vacation. Exactly. Or when it is weekend. All right. If I do and logical operator, what will happen?
Unless both of them will not be true, we cannot sleep. Like we can.
Yeah. It will be this way. It should be vacation and weekday to be able to sleep, right? It should be both, like vacation and weekend. It should be Saturday and vacation, but as per the instructions, it says it can be not weekday or a vacation to be able to sleep. So if it is vacation or weekday is equal to false, which means false. All right. Is it true that vacation and weekday are already Boolean values?
Yes.
They are already Boolean values, guys. So that's why we don't need to compare Boolean value with a Boolean value. We can do this. Just vacation, because vacation is true or false already. Or we don't need this. We can do this. Not weekday. Okay, I will do it this way first. If it's vacation or not weekday, what should be returned? True or false?
True.
True, which means we can sleep. And else, if it's not vacation or a weekday, then we
False.
return. Yeah, this is perfect solution, guys. If we make here and something is wrong. When it's false and false, what does it mean?
False and false, true.
It means true. False means it's not a weekday. The second false means it's not vacation, but it's not weekday, which is Saturday. We should be able to sleep. True. But it returns false because we made here wrong condition. It should be or. So this is one task from warm-up 1. There are a lot of tasks that could make you confused, where you need to read the instructions and then check the test cases and then write the code. First, understand the instructions properly. Next, guys.
So can we do like this, weekday not equal to?
Yes, now it makes sense if we change.
What do you mean,
Weekday
weekday
application.
not equal to?
not equal-
This?
not true.
Yeah, we can do this. Weekday should not be true. We can do also this.
Can we change the place, weekday first and then vacation? Does it
Of
make
course,
sense?
yeah. Yeah, we can make it this way. So if the order is changed, the result doesn't change. 5 plus 5 is 5 plus 6 is 11. 6 plus 5 is still 11. All right.
Excuse me, can we have a break right now, or we'll have it
Yes.
later on?
Yeah, we are gonna have a break right now. So after the break, we will keep solving this this problems, guys, from this side. Let's have a break. We need to solve a lot of them. This is a great website.
Can you take all of mine? Just one second.
Yeah, because
If I change,
it should be array here,
Yes,
or you can make it names.
okay, I did array. Array is what you.
If you accept names, then you should use names. Yeah.
No, no.
I can help you after the class. Ah, okay. It depends from what the person will be using it for. Then just buy any laptop that's running. And all right. Yours is perfect for her. Yeah. She can just watch some videos. All right. So we've solved from this section, warm up one problem, which is slip in. All right. Let's solve from warm up one. Two more problems. All right, I'll choose for you. Let's solve from here, guys, the one which is, let's say, last digit. All right. Here, how many test cases do you see? Three test cases we see. How many parameters does this method have? 2 parameters. All right. Last digit. Given two non-negative int values, we accept 2 values. All right. Can you beforehand tell me what are the numbers? I can tell you that these numbers will be non-negative. All of them will be greater than -1. It could be 0. We need to return true if they have the same last digit, such as 27 and 57. 6 and 17. Why does it return false?
First and last digit is different.
Yeah. Here it's 6, here it's 7. And why for these two given values, it returns true, Clara Jam?
It's give us the same.
Yeah. If we consider this last test case, both of these numbers have the same last digit. Here 3 and here 3. All right. We are given A and B. What do we need to do? What are your first steps to solve this problem? You are given two numbers, let's say 56 and 156.
We need to compare them, use conditions.
Yeah, we need to compare them. But do we need to compare the numbers or their last digits?
Last digits.
Last digits.
Their last digits should be compared. Exactly. We need to compare their last digits. All right. How can we get the last digits from any number in Java?
Using modulus.
A number and modulus 10. 156 modulus 10 gives us 6. 98 modulus 10 gives us 8. All right. What if I run this code doing this, guys? What does it mean? There will be
False.
Hmm?
It
Yeah.
will always return false.
Yeah, it always returns false. Even when the numbers have the same last digit, it always returns false. So what if I do this? What will it return?
False.
Let's run it. What's the result for this comparison?
True.
So behind this, as a result, there will be true. When you run these test cases, it returns true always. Do we need to always return true or always false? No. We should compare them. All right. We can make the comparison right inside the return without using if-else statements. We can do it right here without creating if and else. All right. How many return statements can you create in a method? Two or three? As many as you want, we can create. But you should design your code so that you can create multiple return statements. If I do this, guys, if I do this, what will happen if I do this? Will it properly run? No. What does a return statement mean usually? Or always? It means something. A return statement is the end of the code. After the return statement, if we have here some code, that code will not run. That code will not run. So if I run this code, there will be an error which says we cannot reach this line. We cannot reach this line. All right. Because I would like to explain to you guys that we cannot, that we can create as many return types as we want. It's important because next time when you're gonna see this, it would be, I'll be disappointed if you won't be able to know, if you will not know how many return statements we can create. Last digit, 56. All right. Why I cannot create here two return statements, Ultrabeck PK? It's okay if you don't know because we didn't cover it yet. Yeah, that's true answer. So what does a return statement mean? Return statement, it's the end of the method. It's the end of the method. If you write here some code if this is the end of the code, will we reach this place?
No,
No.
it should be
All right.
after.
Yeah, we can put it before so it displays hello. So can we create here two return statements, one after another? No, because this return statement will end the method. If it ends the method, why do we need this one? We will never execute this one. All right, one more time, Jolchubek. Why we cannot create this return statement here?
Because we don't put the conditions like it's a last turn of code.
Okay, yes, this is the last statement, right? And it ends the code. I got you. Is there a way to create two return statements, guys?
Yes.
There is a way. There is a way. We need to make these conditions. Let's say if A is greater than B, return true. And else, return false. Now, one of these return statements will be executed. Only one of them. If we pass this 5 and 6, what will be returned? True or false?
False.
Yeah. 5 is not greater than 6, so else will run. If you make conditions for this return statements, then you can create multiple return statements. How many return statements can you create inside the method?
Unlimited. As we want.
As many times as you want, if you construct your code properly. Now, this return statement runs only if this condition is true. Can I put here one more return statement? No. Because
There only one condition, like A is more than B.
if this statement will be executed, it will stop the method. As you explained, it will turn off the method. Then how this statement will be executed? There's no way. You can create as many as you want if you design your method properly. All right, let's move here back. So what should be created, guys, for this one? We need to compare two last digits. Two last digits should be compared. Return. Equal. Yeah, equal. Yeah.
Turn it true. If it's false.
What's the result for this? If we use this test case, it is 7. And it's again 7. Is 7 equal to 7? We compare. Yes. So we can do it without using if else. So this is the solution for last digit. Let me copy it here so that we know that we solved it. Okay, let's do this here. For this method, we are given two numbers, A and B. Given two int values. It means we accepted two int values. We need to return their sum, which is just return and A plus B. But unless the two values are the same, then return double their sum. All right, look, 1 and 2, what's their sum? 3. 3 and 2, 5. 2 and 2 should be 4. But if these two numbers are the same, we need to return their doubled sum. So their sum is 4. We should return 8. What if we had 5 and 5? Then the result should be 20. Yeah, 5 plus 5 is 10. Doubled sum. So do we need here conditions? How many return statements will we create for this?
2.
2. All right, let me copy this and paste it here. Okay, look, here I've got 2 methods. I would like to call, why is it red here? Why it shows an error here?
Maybe we return that.
There should be a return statement always in a returning type method. That's why we can put here temporarily this 0. I would like to run this. I would like to call that method, but I cannot. The reason is it should be static, guys. We're gonna learn later, but now you have some idea. If you don't make it static, you cannot call it or access it. Yeah. So why is it red now? Why?
Because we didn't pass these parameters inside.
We didn't pass parameters yet. So let's pass here 5 and 5. Okay. Then can we put this method inside a system out print line?
Yes.
Yeah. The answer is always easy. If it's returning type method, then always yes. Okay, if I run this code, what will be displayed in the output?
20.
All right, let's run it. It's 0. Okay, let's try different numbers, 5 and 9. If I run this code, what will be displayed now?
0.
0, yeah, because we have no code here. Okay. What do we need, guys? Here, what should be created?
Conditions.
Yeah, conditions. How many conditions should be created?
So
2 conditions, right? If and else. All right. It's up to us. I can make it like if A is equal to B here, or if A is not equal to B here. It's up to me. So if A is equal to B, for this specific task, how many return statements should be inside the method?
1.
Yeah, 2.
2. There should be 2 because
For if and else.
for if 1 and for else 1. How many return statements can you create in methods?
1 on the 1.
As many as you
want.
Yeah, but there should be some specific condition. If you create them one follow with the other one, then
Yeah,
there's an error because you cannot reach this one. There should be some condition that will check and then only run the return statement. So if A is equal to B, what should we return? True or false?
return double sum.
Return their doubled sum. So what do we do here, Lombeke? If A equals to B, yeah, return
A multiplied by B. Oi, plus B.
A plus B.
Multiplied by 2.
What do you know what we can do? We can do this. A multiplied by 4. Yeah? If it's 5 and 5, it's 20. If it's 10 and 10, it's 40. So we can do A times 4 or A plus B multiplied by 2. How about else? What should be returned for the else? False.
Just some.
Just A plus B. There is no booleans. A plus B. So this is the right solution, guys, for sum double. Yeah, because here in the instructions it says you are given two int values. So when you run this code, there will be multiple test cases with different values. We need to return their sum. But if the numbers are the same, 2 and 2, then return double their sum. So it's not 4, it's 8. That's why we use multiplication. If it's 2 and 2, return 2 plus 2, which is 4, multiplied by 2. Yeah, it's perfect solution, guys. Okay. So there will be a lot of times this idea, guys, you'll encounter this idea multiple times, like you are reading it but still not understanding. You should face this because you never solve as many problems as I solved. That's why it will be challenging for you. Maybe not for warm-up 1, maybe for warm-up 2 section, but it should be challenging, or it might be challenging for you. Okay. Sum double is done. Next, these were easy, guys, easy ones. Now we move to warm-up 2. From warm-up 2, here we have three columns of problems. And here it says, it's now medium level problems. There will be arrays, there will be loops. So it's not just if, else, or returns. There could be loops. All right, I'll choose this double X. I'll choose this double X. Okay, let's take a look at this method. What does this method return? True or false? And what does it take in parameters as an input data? String. Okay, given a string, return true if the first instance of X in the string is immediately followed by another X. It means we need to check each element, and if you notice that the first X is followed by another X, you should return false. Let's take a look at this test cases. A, X, X, B, B. We return true. Why do we return true?
Because the first instance of X and the next one is
Because the first X is followed by another X, right? Okay, next test case. AX, AX, AX. Why it returns false?
separate another.
Because the first X is not followed by an X, right? Exactly. What if we had there, guys, this test case? Let me do this. What should be returned?
True.
True?
No,
I
False.
think it's because first instance of X is not followed by X. There will be true only if after this X, we have an X. If it's the third X, fourth X, or second, then it's false. All right, let's solve it. Let's solve it. Let's do this, guys. Double X. Let's create a class called double X. Create a class called double X. and the main method. All right. What was the returning type for this method? Double. Boolean, right? So let's create a Boolean method. Double X. And does this method accept a parameter? String. Okay, let me take a look at here. String. Okay, string str. It accepts string. Let me quickly copy those test cases. Okay, given a string, return true if the first instance of X in the string is immediately followed by another X. Okay, if I call this method, what do we need to do here? We need to pass a string. Let's pass here AX, B, XX. What should be returned when you pass this? False. Can I call this method inside the system out print line? Is it yes?
Yes.
Yeah, it
Return.
can be called this. It is a returning type method. All right. Next, if I run this code, will we be able, if I click this button, will we be able to successfully run this code?
No. We need to make conditions.
We need to complete this method. All right. So let me move here. Double X. Warm up 2. All right, guys. So let's discuss here one of these inputs. So we have something called a method. We have a string. Let's say AX, BXX. We pass this string to a method. We send it to a method. What should be returned?
False.
False. False should be returned. Okay. How do we get this false? We need to check something, guys, here. We have this string. What do we need to do? We need to
For
check
each
this
element.
characters, right?
Yeah.
So do we need to check each of these characters?
No, until we reach X.
Yeah, no, until we reach X, but let's consider like we need to check each element, guys. Okay, so if we need to check each element, what should we use? For loop should be used, guys. Okay, let's imagine we created a for loop and for loop is running. When for loop runs at first, guys, what's the value of I? Yeah,
A,
of I.
first A.
Value of I is 0. 0 is an index. And if we consider index as a character, then 0 is A. Is it X?
No.
No. Then we move to the next iteration. In the next iteration, value of I is 1. Okay. Is it X? Yeah. It's X, guys. Very important moment. It's X. When it is X, we need to immediately check the second element, right? Adjacent element should be checked. The neighbor element, X. Okay, the neighbor element, is it X?
No.
The followed element is not X. Now, guys, do you need to check other elements? What do you think?
The task is first X, yeah.
Of
No.
yeah, the answer is no, because we found out that the first X is not followed by X, right? It means even if you have here million X's, you will never return true, right? Okay.
That's first X.
Yeah, and the task says this: if the first X is not followed by X, then return false immediately. All right, let's come up with this solution for this one. Okay, there should be a for loop, guys. There should be a for loop. Let's create a for loop for I. And what should be in the condition? How many times this for loop should run if you pass this one?
Length. 3 lengths.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So it is str length. This time we should check it. All right. Did you create this for loop, guys? Let me know if you did. Okay. Next step is this. What if, okay, just for a while, guys, temporarily, I'll put this return false. All right, never mind about this return false, guys. What happens if we do str char at I? And if we run this code?
You get the
Means first,
Yes,
it's printing
yes.
all of.
Yeah, it just displays each characters one by one on new lines. So it displays each character, okay. AX, BXX. Okay. But is this what the task asked from us? No. The request is different. We need to return true or false value based on these characters. All right. Do we need to check characters?
Yes.
Okay. How do we check characters?
STRI.
STRI.
Oh, it's first need to create character.
Char type.
Char at I
I.
to retrieve a character. And then
Equals to
if
X.
it is equal to X,
Yeah.
yeah, we can do here and.
All of it.
Yeah, and str.char at I plus 1, which is the following one, right? Equals to X. If we find a place, then return true. All right. Let's look, guys. Why is it red now? It's also a very good example for you. Why is it red here? What do you think?
Create else.
Maybe yes. Do you know why it is red here, even we have a return statement?
It should be outside of the. If.
No, that's not the reason. Is it true that there should always be a return statement in the returning type methods? True or not?
True.
True.
True, there should always be a return statement in the returning type methods. All right, let's check, guys. If I pass this word laptop, how many times will this for loop be executed?
Let's do one step.
Or 6 times, yeah? Okay, how many times this condition will be checked?
6.
6 times, all right. And will it ever find X? No, X is never found. If X is never found, means this condition is never true, right? It means then return true is never executed, right? If it's never true, then this one is never executed. If this return true is never executed, what this method returns? We don't have second option, right?
We need to return false.
We can like put here false, guys. But proper way is putting here return false. Here return false rather than here. All right, that's really interesting. Is never used. Okay. If this is so, let's run this, guys, together. Laptop, we have laptop, and in the first iteration, what's the value of I? L. We check L. Is this X? No. So we go to else and we return false. That's the end of the method. That's the end of the method. Okay. But what if here we have X and X? There could be, if we have LXX top, what should be returned? True. Okay, let's run it again. I equals to 0. str.char at I is equal to
0.
L.
L. Is L equal to X? No. So condition is false. If the first one is false, will it execute this one? Yeah. So it returns false. But we didn't give a chance to check other characters, right? We didn't give a chance. So it means else shouldn't be here. All right. Next. Okay. We can do this. If the str char at L is returned true. Okay. Okay, if we run this code, guys, just take your time. You have 30 seconds. If I run this code, what should be displayed? True or false? Let's think. I'm gonna also check it.
True.
True.
Okay. Okay, it returns true. How about this one? Ideally, it should be false. But will it be false?
True. True.
Because we didn't declare first exam.
It returns true. But should it return true? No. So now our program works this way. It's not doing this. We should make sure that if we check the X and it's not this way, like if it's X and if it's not followed by X, boom, we immediately need to return false. We immediately need to return false. So we need to take care of that part.
What if just put a like stop?
Break, yes. Should we put break?
Yeah, we can do this. Better, guys, if we create here Boolean result in the beginning and make it false by default, and make it false like we have in sum and make it 0, in counter and we make it 0. Then if we meet at least one x, if we meet at least one x and it's followed by another x, and it's followed by another x, then we can make the result true. It seems like we can make this, but it will still be wrong code. Let me run this. LXFX top. Okay. Let me try this now. LXX false. So as I told you, this is wrong code now. The reason is this. We better do this, guys. Can we create inside one if, another if? Yeah, better if we do this. If we find one x, then we can check the other x. If str.char at I plus 1 is also x, then we make the result true and break it. Otherwise, we break it. So I think we can take this, remove this else, and put this break here. Okay. So let me try running this code. It returns me false. So the code is still wrong. If it's x, and if I plus 1 is also equal to x. Okay. So let's think. If you will have ideas to fix this, first use it in your code, make sure it's correct, and then you can share with your idea. So we save time. Okay. If we made x, and if the second one is also x, then result should be true, and we should break it.
Why you cannot use the start with double X?
You cannot. Start with works only for the front. It doesn't work for the middle. That's why.
What if after one x goes the other x?
Okay, the solution, if you have ideas, guys, first check it in your laptop and then share it. So it should be this way, and now it will work. So it's true if you make it this x, and x, double x is here. Now it's false. Okay, this is how it should be created. Next, I think we could do this. We can return it back to this state, because actually I didn't notice, probably you also, we had here false, so it was always returning false. Okay, then we can do this, but I think it's not gonna be correct. It returns true. Okay, so we're making it undo. So this is the proper solution. This is the right solution. Let's run this code line by line. All right. we are given this string, guys. LX, LX. If you don't pay attention to this, how we solve it line by line, it will be your problem later. LXF XX top is given as a string here. This is the string. And we made this Boolean result false because we return at the end result. If you learn it from here, you can use similar technique for other problems. Okay, here we go. The false. Sorry, for loop. In the very first iteration, the value of I is the value of I is 0. Yeah. Why did it go there? Okay. So the value of I is 0. And let's check. str.char at 0. Is it equal to x? str char at 0. L equals to x. No, it's false. So next, I becomes 1. str.char at 1. Is it equal to x?
True.
True. Okay. Next thing. str.char at I plus 1. Is it equal to x?
False.
Which character is it?
F.
Okay. Now we found the first x, right? We found the first x. We can break the code. Because the first x is not followed by another x. We don't need to check other characters. All right. Now we break the code. This is false. We break it and we return the result, which is false, as it was in the beginning. Let's consider another case. You should understand it. You might seem like you understood it, like you see it once, like, okay, the next time it will be the same. No, it will be different. So LXXFX top. I is equal to 0. So in the first iteration, the first character is L. L is not equal to X. So it's false. Then it's the second iteration, I equals to 1. str.char at 1 is X. It is X. It's true. And then str.char at I plus 1, which is this one. Is it true? It should be true, but I don't know why it shows false. Okay. Okay, okay, it shouldn't be true because we changed the comment only. But did we change the parameter? That's why. Okay. So now, first is x. All right. If you find the x, you can break the loop. Because if you find the x, you can already break the loop. But first, before breaking the loop, before stopping, let's check the second one. Let's check the second adjacent character, next one. Next one is also x. So we can make the result true because the following one is also x. Then we can break the code. But what if it's just x? The following one is not x. What will happen? Will it run this? No, it will not run this. It will just break it. It will stop. And it will return result,
False.
which is false because result is not changed. All right. It might not be easy to understand or probably apply it, but it's up to you to be able to use it or not. So you need to run it 10 times, 15 times to be able to understand it, and then apply it in other problems. coding but. Okay. Warm up to double X. And then let's check our code. Maybe it's a wrong solution, guys. Let's put it here. Okay. Very good. One test case returns us error. Let's put this test input in our code. Like for 95%, our solution is correct, but for few test inputs, it might be wrong. Look, how many iterations will be in this loop? 5, right? Is it true that in each iteration, we check 2 elements? One element and the second element. Yeah, look, we check I and I plus 1. 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 And then we check I and I plus 1, which doesn't exist. Let's run it line by line. If I run it without the debugger, there is an error. There is an error that says we are going out of bounds here. There is no character after that, the last one. So let's run it. And then I is equal to 0, which means it's A. And then we keep going, keep going, keep going. All right, let me run it again. So when I is equal to 3, which character is it? It's A. Is A equal to X? No. Okay, next iteration, I becomes 4. Which character is it? X. It's true, right? Then we go inside that if and we check this one. I plus 1 is 5. Do we have str.char at I plus 1 or 5? Do we have str.char at 5? No, it doesn't exist. So when we reach this X, it's trying to check the following element, which doesn't exist. So we can make a limit here to check until here, so that it will check until this A. It will not check X and then following element. It will keep checking until this A and then following element, because X is already the last element to be checked. If we make -1, that it will reach this X and will check the next element, the following element that doesn't exist. That's why we need to make this -1 so that it will reach only till A. And when we reach this A, it checks the following element also. Okay. Let's run it again. Okay, so this is double X problem. Okay. Next one is yes, I can share it in the Slack. Okay. Next one is count X. What's the return type for this, guys? For this one? Is it really difficult to figure out what's the return type? Int, it's int. All right, and it accepts string. Okay, count the number of XX in the given string. Okay, this one will require you to check each time 2 characters, but let me change the problem, the other one, array count 9. Okay, this one is pretty simple, guys. This one you'll 100% be able to solve if you only will solve. Given an array of ints, what's the return type for this method?
Boolean.
Where do you see Boolean? It's int. It's int. And what is the parameter we accept?
Array of integers.
Array of integers, right? It's an array of integers. All right, let's read the assignment, the task. Given an array of ints, it says in the parameters, you'll be given an array of ints. There will be numbers in that array. We need to return the number of 9s in the array. Easy, guys, for you. Test case number 1. How many 9s are there inside this array? Only 1. In the next one, it is 2. In the last one, 3. Will you be able to solve it? Let's go, guys. You can do this. For you guys, for now, I believe it will be a little bit easier to get it done first in the IntelliJ IDEA and then copy it there. So let's do this. Create array count 9 plus main method int array. Create this, guys, this class and this array. All right. You done, guys? Yeah, array count 9. Next, let's create a method. Public static int count 9. Array count 9. And it accepts, what does it accept, guys? This method.
Int,
Areas.
int array.
Array of integers. Okay. Nums. Okay, next step. How can we find the number of 9s? Assume, guys, that inside this nums, we have these numbers. They are copied to here. What's our next step, Claudia? We need to return 3 because there are 3 9s.
Counter.
Yeah, yes.
It should be counter. Counter 0. And then we need to check each element. So we create
For loop.
a for loop, right? For loop should be created. Nums length. Okay. How many return statements should be created? Should be in this method.
One.
1.
Only one. Only one. There are no conditions. Like if there are 9, if there is 9 followed by 9 or not followed, we don't have this types of conditions. We just need to find the number of 9s and return the integer. For this one, it's 3. All right. What do we do next inside this for loop?
Condition. Okay.
condition should be there, right? So it is if
If
Clarece okay, Clarece, what should we do for this task? Yeah, this is what you needed to clarify if you didn't understand. Look, there is a method. What does it return? What's the returning type? Some int, yeah? Because we have here int, right? And what does it accept in parameters list? An array of integers, right? It accepts an array of integers. So here the instructions say, given an array of ints, as I told you, here behind this page, we have a main method. It's created automatically. We just don't see it. So we don't need to create it. Given an array of ints, inside this nums, there will be numbers. There will be numbers. We need to return the number of nines in the array. So assume inside this nums we have 1 to 9. How many nines are there inside this array? 1. Let's assume inside this array we have this element. How many nines are there? 3. Okay, let's move here. So inside this we have elements. We created the counter to count these nines. We created the for loop to traverse each element. Next step is what will this do?
Each element.
Yeah, each element will be displayed on a separate lane, right? But do we need to display them? No, we don't need to display them. What do we need to do, Clarece? We should count nines, right? Okay. So how will you count nines?
Nums I is equal
You
to
will
9.
you will check nums if some element is equal to 9, we
Then
increase
count.
the counter. Every time we check the elements. First, is it 9? This one. No. Then this, is it 9? No. Then when it comes to this element, it turns out to be 9. So we increase the counter. We check each element until the last one. And every time it's 9, we increase the counter. And then here, after the for loop is done, after we checked each element, we return the number of nines counter. This is the right solution. Let's make it so that you solve it yourself because it's pretty easy one. Okay. Array count 9. Let me choose from array 2, one problem. Array 2. Okay. Okay. So this one is same. All right. What's the return type for this method? What's the return type for this method? Integer, yeah. And it accepts in parameters array of integers. There is an array of integers. All right. If I run this code, it says we are missing a return statement. There should be a return. All right. Return the sum of the numbers in the array. What's the sum of these numbers?
1, 2, 3, 6.
Yeah, it's 6. For this one, it's 2. How about for these numbers?
19.
It should be 19. But here, we need to read the instructions now. Return the sum of the numbers in the array. So we need to find the sum and return it. But there is an exception. Except the number 13. 13 is unlucky number. It's unlucky number. So it doesn't count, and numbers that come immediately after a 13 also do not count. Okay. So let me copy it here. Array 2, sum 13. What should be returned, guys, for this?
6.
6. Next, what should be returned for this?
3.
3. All right, very good. How about this one?
3.
It should be 3. It should be 3. We don't count numbers that come immediately after 13. Immediately means that's right after 13. But it's not break yet. What's the sum for this array? It's not
9.
3.
9.
It's 1 plus 2,
4.
which is
6.
plus 1 plus 5. We should not count 13 and 2. Or in other words, numbers that come immediately after the unlucky number. Numbers that come immediately after the unlucky number. So we need to skip 13 and the next number, right? All right. So first you can do it by creating a program to find the sum of the elements. It will always return you for this one. It will return you 24, but then you will modify it so that it will not count 13 only. Then you will modify it so that it will not count 13 and the next number. Yeah, if statements should be. So we're gonna do this, guys. You'll be given as a home assignment. I'll check what I'm gonna give you, but you'll be given as a home assignment to solve some problems from this coding bot. And you all have already accounts on this coding bot. So how will we be able to check whether you solved it or not? So it's up to you whether you solve it, or it's also okay if you look up the solution from the internet. It's okay. But it's better if you understand it. And then it's even better if you then remove the solution and then solve it again from your memory, because you already looked up the solution. Okay, if let's say I'm gonna give you an assignment to solve all of these problems from the column 1. Then you will need to make a screenshot, including your account email here. So it's visible here. And then make the screenshot. So here I see that you solved these problems because there is something that tells you solved it. And then here is your email. This is how I can verify that you solved it. So you need to, guys, this week solve a lot of problems from this coding bot. It's really helpful. Do you see my stars? If you have the stars, then you'll be able to solve more problems. They are really helpful. Why do you think I have stars? Because I solved them. Why did I solve them? Because they are helpful. So yeah, guys, this is it for today. You'll be given an assignment to solve problems from coding bot. If you have
Yeah,
questions,
thank you.
guys, yeah. If you mean this, okay, can I send it to Slack? Okay, I just don't want to be just copied. If you find it yourself from Google, it's better because you put some effort to do it.
Yes, from Google, yes, sure. Problem is to understand.
Yeah. Yeah, this is it for today, guys. This week we need to solve a lot of problems from coding bot. A lot of.
So this week means 1 day.
One day?
Yeah.
No. Like today, you can solve them tomorrow, the day after tomorrow. What I'm gonna do is this.
You talking about the home task, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna give you one assignment to solve all these tasks. How many are there? There are probably 14. You'll need to solve them, all of them. Not in,
All this warm-up too?
yeah, all of them, not in 3
Holy.
days. Not in 3 days. Like in 5, 6 days.
So until the next class, we need to complete just the first column, right?
Warm-up too.
No, you'll need to come. It depends. I'll give you in the assignment, but probably I'll give you an assignment to finish all this in 6 or 5 days. And I can see when did you submit the home assignment.
So next week, so we will continue this topic or not?
Next week, we will not continue. We will learn something new where we use these methods.
And that topic we will have another assignment, right?
Yeah, another assignments, right?
At the same time, we have to complete this assignment.
Exactly. Yeah. All right, online students, see you.
Thank you.
Yep.